Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagem. Guys, people are being scammed out of their money. It's not funny. I'm not laughing or smiling because I'm laughing at people getting scammed out of luxury bags. I'm smiling laughing because it's happened to me several times being scammed, and I'll talk about my experiences. But first, let me tell you the story. This is actually from Canada. It's a few months old, but I think it's worth us discussing. So I'll post the link in the description below so you can check it out. But the gist is this. There's a young lady, she works in finance. I think this story is from Toronto, Canada. So for those of you from Canada, hello, thanks for your support of the channel. She basically had this idea she's going to support her parents due to C19. They needed her financial support. And she was like, she's going to flip a bag. So she decided on the Palm Springs Mini, which is, obviously a beautiful bag. Impossible to score, by the way, and to get. It is so hard to get at the moment. So her idea was that she was going to find an affordable Palm Springs Mini and she was going to flip it online. She finds a seller who is like, oh yeah, first I'll offer this price. I think it was like 2,800. I'm guessing this is Canadian dollars. And then finally they haggle and they haggle. And I think she gets her down to like 2,400 Canadian dollars. So she's super, super excited. She's like, yes. Feeling great about things, obviously, right? And then she meets up with the woman, and this is where things get weird, and this is when you have to be like, come on, where are the red flags in your head? Because when I'm reading the story, I can see the red flags, I can feel the red flags coming out. So she meets her like on the street, basically. They meet on the street in Toronto, I'm guessing. And yeah, she gives her the bag, and then the woman like sends the money via bank transfer to her account. And then she said she took the bag. She was wearing her mask. She goes somewhere private to like look at the bag and to inspect it. Bear in mind, she says that she had already had it authenticated or it had been authenticated and she had like done her due diligence. So then she like takes off her mask, and then she, that smell that when a bag is fake, it smells like chemicals. And obviously Vuitton bags, whether it's canvas or leather, it's not going to smell like chemicals, okay? So then that's when she was devastated and she realized. So she spent, she spent about $2,000, $2,400 basically for the bag. She said that she managed to haggle because there was like one accessory missing from the bag. The bag is a super fake. It's completely fake. She was scammed out of her money. So it seems that she went to the media. She didn't use her real name. She was saying how she was trying to support her parents and she absolutely feels devastated. She works in finance and she feels really embarrassed because like she works in finance. This happens to everyone, by the way. And she's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to me. My parents need my financial support. And her parents like currently are living, off of her support anyway. And now she's like lost $2,000. So she tried to contact the seller blocked her, okay? What a terrible, evil person. And then she went to the media, and then the media contacted her bank, but the bank didn't get back to them. Normally, if the media like gets involved, the bank will just be like, oh my God, that's terrible, negative press. Let's just refund her the money. I feel like I never got a follow up on what happened to this young lady, but I'm guessing she got the money back because if you go to the bank and you beg enough times and you make like a massive deal out of it, they probably will refund you the money. What's the moral of the story, you guys? First of all, I feel so bad for this person. She's trying to do the right thing. First of all, you're trying to support your elderly parents. You're a good person and God's going to bless you for that, okay? Second of all, you have a job and you're still supporting your parents and you're trying to find a side hustle to support your parents and you still get scammed. Obviously, she's the angel. She met the devil on the street and unfortunately she got scammed. I feel like in her situation, if you have like a stand-up bank, if this was like American Express, let's be honest, they're known for refunding and sorting and really having their the customers back. They would probably like refund her the money. Of course, it's going to be difficult, but they probably would refund because they're just like, it's not worth the stress of like losing the client and getting all this bad press. But I feel like there's like a massive moral to the story here, and and this is kind of like a luxury parable that we all need to learn from. The moral of this parable is, don't play the luxury resale game if you do not have the money, frankly, in the cash reserve to play the game. This is also a game in a way, and I think Instagram is to blame for everyone thinking that they can be a professional reseller. Don't forget, I'm not saying that you as a customer can't resell your private collection. I know so many of you think I hate resellers. It's not like that. And I'm not talking about you, like you as an individual reselling your private collection. That's absolutely fine. I'm talking about the people who want to do this professionally. She wanted to flip this. Maybe she saw all these people doing it professionally. She thought, I'm going to give this a crack and I can probably do it and make some money. Well, she got her fingers burnt. She lost $2,000. I'm sure she wishes that she probably hadn't done that. She probably could have just taken that 2K and given that to her parents. Let's be honest, probably, and frankly, that would have been the better thing to do. So I think like lots of people think that, okay, this person's doing it on Instagram, they have so many comments and, they're probably making tons of money doing this on Instagram. Like, why can't I also give it a crack and give it a go? I just feel like if you don't have the money to do this, and if you can't afford to lose that $2,000, you shouldn't do this. There is a luxury reseller called the Birkin Fairy. She did this interview with Business Insider. It was like an as told to story. And I wanted to highlight it. Obviously, I have nothing against this person personally. I'm sure she's fantastic and great. And she looks like she's got a fantastic business. But in this interview, I'll link in the description below, she says something which I think kind of feeds into this whole thing of let me flip bags for money, and I think it makes people feel like it's so easy to do this. She talks about how she's made about $2 million flogging Birkins and Kellys and flogging Hermes products basically through her website and eBay, and she says how she's never spent money on customer acquisition. I don't really like when people say they didn't spend money on customer acquisition. Elon Musk is probably the best example of this. He says he doesn't believe in advertising and he'll never pay to advertise a Tesla. Well, blood, you're the advert for the Tesla, okay? He does so much media. You get so much free TV, magazine articles, newspapers, websites. He does so much media. He does so much, particularly television. He's always doing a TV interview about, SpaceX, a rocket, a this, a that, and it's also, I guess, and it's interesting because, most of he's South African, he was born in Pretoria. I really hate when he says that, because it's just not true that you are not advertising. You absolutely are, because let me tell you now, those of you who work in PR, you know what it is. There are PR agencies whose job it is to facilitate this kind of free media. It's not really free. PR firms make tons of money charging really, really big retainers. So when she says that, I've never paid for customer acquisition, that is not really correct, because the amount of effort that you put into building your business, even if you're not using paid methods, it's not it's just a little bit disingenuous. It's not dishonest, it's just not really telling the full story. So maybe you have a business, you haven't paid someone, but maybe you've sent maybe you've asked influencers to post it for free, maybe you've sent free bags, you've done a lot of effort, which is considered marketing, and frankly it is advertising. You're just not paying a cash amount or whatever to advertise the product or service. So I feel when people read this, they're like, oh my gosh, well, this woman has made $2 million. $2 million is a ton of money, okay? I'm happy for her. But I don't like the way people make it seem like it's super, super easy and okay, yeah, guys, I made $2 million flogging Birkins. You can do the same. I think other people who maybe aren't as savvy in business can easily get their fingers burnt, or unfortunately can be taken advantage of, like this woman. And I think social media, particularly Instagram, I'm sorry, I am going to hold Instagram and a lot of the Instagram luxury resellers responsible for this. Instagram makes luxury resale look super, super glamorous. It's not really glamorous if you're watching a YouTuber and I'm like, guys, buy my bag right now. Because I'm going to look like I'm begging for your money, it's not particularly glam. But if you see a beautiful picture on Instagram, you see wine, you see flowers, you see this Kelly looking like it needs to be on the crook of your arm, okay? You're going to want to buy it, you're going to want to be part of that world, and you're going to want to maybe resell it to someone else who also loves the Kelly. I just want people who are in the Instagram reselling, luxury reselling world to be a little bit more honest about their businesses. I'm sure this woman is fabulous. I'm not attacking her, I promise. It's not a personal attack. I just don't like the way that not just her, Elon Musk too. I don't like the way people make it seem like you don't pay to acquire customers. You absolutely pay, even if you're not putting your credit card down and swiping, Google ads. You're paying in other ways, through your efforts, through your hard work, through sweat equity, through asking people to post things for you, like if you're asking influencers to post for free. By the way, I've got like 7 requests this month. Like, will you talk about us in your videos? Like 7 this month. I was counting them just recently, and just in the past few days I've gotten about 2. Like, can you post us? Can you post us? Can you post us? I'm like, cool. Are you gonna pay? No. So I'm not surprised that this woman got scammed, basically. Instagram makes it seem really easy. Many people who are flogging Birkins and Kellys are making Instagram reselling look very easy. It is not easy at all. It is a business. Many people also do absolutely buy fake followers and buy ads, and that's fine. That's fine. That's what I do for a living. Okay, so I know the smoke and mirrors. So when people say things like that, I'm like, can you guys just stop saying that? Okay, I don't know if you know, but do you know that Amazon is the #1 buyer of Google adverts in the world? Has Jeff Bezos ever said, oh yeah guys, we buy ads? No, he hasn't, but that's a fact. They're the #1 buyer of Google ads in the world. So I'm just saying, like, I think people who want to get into luxury reselling, don't fall for the hype. Treat this as a business. Don't treat it as something you're going to flip for money. And that brings me back to that woman and her story. When I was like reading the story the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this woman can't be serious. Like, the Palm Springs Mini right now, if you go on Fashion File today, the Palm Springs Mini in the monogram and the reversed monogram, I think they're going for like $2,200, $800. No, $2,200, something like that. And the highest one was like $2,800. Which, it's like, okay, if you bought it for $2,000 and then you're gonna flip it, then you're gonna get an extra $800. Okay, that's cool, but I don't know if it's worth all of that effort just to make $800. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I just feel like she's just doing so much work for such little upside. I think that we need to demystify all of this stuff. And I think if you're reselling your personal collection on eBay, on Fashion File, I think that is fab. But I think if you're like, I want to make money to support my parents, there are easier ways to support your parents, and you can actually give them money than doing this, And I'm sorry that happened to her, but I'm not surprised, because just being scammed right now, like, if something seems too good to be true, you're probably going to get scammed, because it probably is. So I want to give you an example of a very popular scam here. A few weeks ago, one of my employees actually got her phone nicked, and the person, she didn't have like a PIN code on her phone for some reason, and then the person was like sending messages to every single person on her phone, and obviously they came across my messages. I'm her boss, obviously, so he then figured out by looking through our messages, I think then he took my number, and in Tanzania you can figure out caller ID for every single phone number by putting it into your mobile wallet and seeing the person's name if you're going to send them money. So he obviously figured out my first name, my last name, my married name, and then he sent me a message as if he's her, like, hey, like, I have this problem, like, I need you to send me X amount of money. And the money that he said was 500,000 Tanzanian shillings, which is something like $200 and some change. That is a lot of money for like the average person in Tanzania. That's not a lot of money in the luxury world, and that's not a lot of money for most people who are of means in TZ. But for the average person here, that is a lot of money. And I remember being like, well, why would you need $500, like 500,000 shillings? You've never asked me for that amount in your life. And that's when I got a bit spooked, and I figured out that he was a scammer pretty soon, and I was like, just responding to see. And then I was like, okay, so how should I send it to you? And then I'm like, should I send it to your number, right? But he can't, but he's stolen her phone, but he doesn't know the PIN code to her financial wallet. So we have different, like, they're kind of like PayPals for Tanzania, and every mobile network has a wallet basically, and you put money in there. And he doesn't know the PIN code for that. So I was like, should I send it to your wallet? And then he's like, no, don't. And also, don't call me. The mic isn't working. So that's like a typical scam here. The scammer will be like, don't call me. The mic isn't working. Send the money to this other number. And I was like, guy, I know you're a scammer. And I was like, I would stop talking to me right now, or we're going to go to the police and track your phone. And then a few hours later, she called me from another line being like, oh my God, my phone was down. And I was like, I know, someone was trying to scam me. pretending to be you asking for money. She would never ask for that much money, even if she had a problem. And furthermore, she would never send a text message asking for money. She would always call. If she needed my help for whatever reason, or she had a personal issue, she would call. So, you know, when you use common sense but when you yourself have been scammed, and I've had my experiences of being scammed. I remember when I first started one of my businesses many moons ago, 10 years ago now, my goodness. Like, one of my first businesses was like buying products online, and this was like to Asia, and I lost like $2,000 and the products never came. I mean, I have been there. Okay, I lost the same amount of money that she did. It was like 2,500, and it was really, really painful, but you live and you learn, you know? So I don't know, I just kind of feel like, you know, I feel bad for what happened to her, but these things kind of have to happen to you in order for you to learn. Because if you think about it, she had no business meeting up with someone on the street. Like, it's like some sort of like, you know, I don't even want to say the D word, but you know what I'm trying to say, as if it's some sort of deal, you know, to take illegal substances, okay? She had no business doing that. And then I'm sure now she's like going through her head being like, oh my God, this is how I got scammed because I didn't use common sense. And then second of all, it's not even a good business idea. Like, the palm strings mini is hard to get, but even the prices on Fashion File, most people who buy resell know what to do. No one's buying a $4,000 palm strings mini, baby, okay? That is not going to happen. So I just feel like this is kind of like the Titanic, okay? And then when she saw when she went onto the street, that was like the iceberg, and she should have known better. But at the same time, it's also happened to me. It happens to so many people. I also got an email a while ago, and someone was like, hey, I've been watching your videos, I want to pay you $4,000 to talk about my company, but first I need to get your bank details because I need to put you in my roster of influencers that I'll be paying every month. And you know, it's like, okay, dude, like, come on, this is a really good scam. I mean, some of these scams are so good because it hints to your need and your desire to be successful, to have money, and to do all these things. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not laughing at her. I've shared my experience of being scammed. Maybe you guys have had your own experiences of being scammed. And as you know, if you're part of the team here on this channel, you know that I don't buy pre-love because I can't, my heart cannot. When I was reading this story, my heart was beating so hard. Like, I can't handle the stress of knowing that something is fake. I can't imagine how devastated she was. Now, the good thing is that she's probably going to get reimbursed because she didn't pay cash, like physically. She did like send it to the bank account, but she's going to have to fight for that. So what have you guys learned from this luxury parable? What are your thoughts? I would love to know, as usual. I have a few videos coming up this week. I hope I don't spam you to death. Please, if you like what I'm doing, make sure you subscribe and you hit that bell. And also, I wanted to do something kind of fun for Saturday's video. I was thinking, if I get at least 5 questions, I'll do a Q&A. You can ask me anything. Luxury questions. If you want to ask me questions about Tanzania, that's fine. But luxury questions would be cool. Shopping questions would be cool. And if you want to know about me personally, you can go ahead and ask me. Send me a DM on Instagram, send me an email, or check me out on Facebook on Messenger. I'm very active there as well. If I get 5 questions, I'll do this. So if I don't get 5 questions, I will quietly do my Saturday video without the Q&A. So feel free to ask me. If you want to ask me in the comments, do that. Just make sure you say this is for the Q&A video. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to hear your comments, and I'll see you in my next video.